there is no band like the Rolling Stones. The Stones have been compelling audiences for over 60 years, a testament to their appeal and incredible resilience. As they wrap up their 2024 North American Hackney Diamonds Tour, fans continue to marvel at the band's ability to deliver electrifying performances. It's remarkable to consider that even as Mick Jagger approaches 81 and Keith Richards and Ronnie Wood aren't far behind, the Stones still rock as hard as ever. Reviews from recent shows on this tour have been nothing short of spectacular. Mick Jagger's boundless energy and signature dance moves defy his age, while Keith Richards and Ronnie Wood continue to mesmerize with their guitar prowess. Reflecting on their legendary career, it's amazing to think that there has never been a time in my life without the Rolling Stones. The band has consistently defied expectations and silenced skeptics. With Steve Jordan seamlessly stepping in after Charlie Watts' passing, the Stones prove they can weather any storm. The band's setlist is a perfect blend of timeless classics and new hits, keeping fans of all ages on their feet. In honor of yet another successful Stones tour, we thought it would be fun to dip into the Rock Buzz archives and take a look back to 1975, when the Stones were on their tour of the North Americas. Anthony Bannon of the Buffalo News, who was there to witness the Stones' legendary performance at the Buffalo Memorial Auditorium 50 years ago, noted that the band had already been rocking for a whopping 13 years. Little did we know back then, 13 years seemed like a lifetime. Without further ado, let's go back to 1975 and check in with the one and only Rolling Stones. By Anthony Bannon. "Get angry, Mick," yelled the guy sitting in the aisle passing the sweet-smelling peace pipe, Sunday night, in Memorial Auditorium. "Come on, Mickey baby, get crazy." But the Rolling Stones, nearly 13 years old, were no satanic majesties, and there was no boogie in the aisle for the longest time, until close to midnight. First, it was their hair that set them apart, back in 1963, when they prepared to duel the Beatles. And their hair was rough, and like their music appeared to string right out of the gutter, where the hard knocks live. Then drugs horrified, which gave way to politics, which led to satin and glitter. And all the time there was sex, rising up from the dense electronics of the Stones sound, in both lyrics and the heavy thump that gave rock its energy in the first place. The Rolling Stones never forgot that, and it made them leg end. Only a handful in all the rock years can stand with them. Presley, Dylan, the Beatles, and right now, they stand the tallest. You could have lit a light bulb without connections for all the energy in the air Sunday night in Memorial Auditorium. Every seat was taken, and many stood and jockeyed with what must have been the most heavyweight security force in Buffalo concert history. Wherever the Stones go, they must carry the curse of Altamont, where their sex turned crazy and spilled to violence. Here, 6 years after, they gave music. Surely the focus is on Jagger and his hermaphroditic sass, but that soon enough turns on him. He's still the best at it. A premier danseur. Since the late 60s his court has grown. Jethro Tull, Alice Cooper, Joe Cocker, and Dr. John. That today he oddly echoes his imitators. So what's working now, on this 1975 tour of the Americas, is laid-back sound.
The Rolling Stones, the Stones, and fireworks and other flying wonders. There are still tickets left to see the Stones. So get your tickets now. See the world's greatest rock and roll band, the Rolling Stones.
They burst out with Honky Tonk Woman and Hard and Get Off of My Cloud, but most of what they do is opened up in the middle, for back and forth between Keith Richards and Ron Wood's guitars, the two of them in leather and leaning away from their instruments, cigarettes dangling, and looking like rock and roll gangsters in the faint spill light. Ron Wood is on loan from Rod Stewart and Faces. The other Stones is Bill Wyman on bass. Charlie Watts has the drums, with help from Ollie E. Brown. Stones' original road manager, Ian Stewart, fills in on keyboard. They do the blues. The group started by imitating the blues. Now they have their own. You Gotta Move runs into You Can't Always Get What You Want, and bridged with Tumbling Dice, continues with Angie and Wild Horses. The sound is nasal, and the lyrics often develop a new rhythm, separated from the smoothness of the instruments. Jagger through it often appears tired, even bored. The ragged prints in blue-eye glitter and striped Indian cotton moves as if it is a mistake, but that's his theater. Suddenly he'll burst with a collection of rare energy and chew the air with his preaching finger punching out each phrase. Then twist and pose and appear the weird hybrid of devil and divine, and kick that pose with a childish grin that makes his stage personality a magnet for both men and women. Finally, it happened. After making the bottom line of the blues with his keyboard, Billy Preston took the audience for the ride it was waiting for, with his driving boogie solos, That's Life You Gotta Deal With It, and an instrumental that had him in a bump dance with Jagger. It was the first time the crowd came to their feet, and it was close to midnight. Jagger laid out Brown Sugar, Midnight Rambler, and a few more, and tied it up with Jumping Jack Flash, signing with some signature piece movements, kicking over the mics, pulling a huge dragon head from the floor which spewed cut paper on the crowd, ripping off his shirt and dousing himself with buckets of water and sharing the water with the people. The set had lasted 2 hours. The warm-up group had been the Jazz Crusaders, but nobody remembered that. Everyone was standing now, and clapping with hands above heads. The Stones had it good. Jagger gave an Islamic bow to the 6 sides of the star-shaped stage and left. The crowd stood in place for a long time, after not seeking an encore, but not willing to leave either. Back to 2024, and 2 things are for certain. None of the 3 core members of the Rolling Stones have declared any intentions of retiring from touring, and the band is most definitely open to bringing the Hackney Diamonds tour to more countries outside North America. As Mick Jagger told Reuters last month, we'll consider those offers, where we're going to go and where it will be fun. You know? It could be Europe, could be South America, could be anywhere. We are lucky to witness a band with such unparalleled longevity and spirit, a feat no other band has ever achieved. The Rolling Stones. Just incredible. Thanks for watching Rock Buzz.